Alright, so we're just going to start our yoga sequence sitting in the middle of the mat. We're going to put both of our legs straight out in front of us. We're going to cross our right leg over the left. Take our left elbow, put it on the outside of the right thigh, and twist at the waist. Going to use this right arm as a second spine almost. Try and get it as close to your body as you can. If you're feeling comfortable, take a few more deep breaths and twist a little more into that stretch. You can feel it a little in your lower back. We're going to sit here for 2 deep breaths. Let it out with a sigh. And we're going to come back to the seated normal position. And we're going to mirror that on the other side, taking our left leg over our right knee, taking our right elbow on the outside of the left thigh, with our left arm directly behind our spine, acting as the second. Take a few more deep breaths. You can get into that stretch a little bit more. And we're going to sit here for 2 deep breaths, let out with a sigh. And come back to seated. We're going to cross our legs now in a comfortable position. Bending a little at the waist to loosen up our lower back. Inching our fingers forward with our hands straight out. And if this is a little painful for you, you can come back or you can deepen into the stretch with a few more breaths. We're going to sit here for 2 deep breaths. Back to normal. And for the next stretch, we're actually going to stand up, root our feet into the ground, hands above the head, reaching as far as you can through the ground and through the ceiling. We're going to lean now a little bit to the right, moving our hands, bending at the waist, getting a little of that lateral stretch. Taking 2 deep breaths. Back to normal. And we're going to do the same thing on the left. If you want, you can push your right hip out more, giving you that more lateral stretch. And back to normal. Now we're going to get into the work portion of our sequence, starting with tree pose. We're going to root our feet into the ground, lift our right knee up. Now bring it out. Bring that foot either to the upper thigh or, if more comfortable, down here on the calf. Hands in front. And if you want to go deeper into this stretch, you can now raise your hands slowly, maintaining balance. And taking 2 deep breaths. Hands down in front of you. Bring your knee back up, down, and we're going to do the same on the left. Left knee up. Bring it out. Over. If more comfortable, like I said before, put on your calf. Bring your hands in front, and now furthering into the stretch if you'd like, with your hands slowly up. And I'll take 2 deep breaths. Hands down, knee back in front and down. Now we're going to move on to the next pose, Warrior 2. Reaching the right leg out. Now left lunging with our front foot facing towards this wall. Bending at the knee, making sure your knee is not over your ankle. Straightening that back leg. Raising the arms at the sides. You can deepen into the stretch by widening that lunge. Making sure that knee is still over the ankle. And we're going to take 2 deep breaths right here. Coming back to normal, we're going to straighten both legs. Keeping our hands out to the side. Now we're going to switch to that right side now, bending with the right knee, keeping that left leg straight, pointing those right towards the right wall, and gazing over our right hand for 2 deep breaths, deepening into that stretch if you want by going a little bit forward in that lunge. Straightening that right leg, bringing the legs together. We're going to move into the next pose, the chair pose, rooting our feet into the ground, keeping our knees over our ankles. We're going to bend at the waist, pushing that butt outwards behind you, lifting the hands, coming into a comfortable position, trying to get 90 degrees parallel. I'm going to take 2 deep breaths here. You can deepen into that stretch going lower. 2 deep breaths, let it out with a sigh, and raise back up onto your toes, and come back down for 1 more. Keeping your knees together, making sure that those knees are over your ankles, hands straight out in front of you. 2 deep breaths. And coming up on the toes. Bring your hands down to your sides. We're going to next move onto dancer pose. You can plant your right foot, reach your left foot back behind you, grabbing the top of your foot, and you're going to turn your shoulders so you have a straight line with your front arm out. And to deepen into this stretch, you're going to want to start raising your left foot out and away from you. Bring your shoulders straight, giving you that line. You can deepen into that stretch, keep going higher and higher. Ooh, you might lose your balance. We're going to take 2 deep breaths where you are most comfortable. And bringing that left foot back down. Going to mirror the same on your right. Rooting that left foot. Bringing the right foot up, grabbing it with your right hand, lifting it out and behind you as you turn your shoulders, giving you that straight line. Comfortable. When you get into a comfortable position, start taking 2 deep breaths. See if you can go a little bit farther in that stretch, reaching farther away from you. And bringing that right foot back down. We're going to now finish up on the ground. In a laying down position, you can bring your feet up so they're rooted on the ground, about shoulder width apart. Now we're going to do some windshield wipers for the hips, a little cool down for the hips. You're going to bring your left knee to the ground, following with your right knee to touch your left ankle. Slow, keeping your shoulders rooted on the ground. Take a deep breath. Back to center and to the right. Now flow through this as you wish, giving you a few full rotations as you feel more comfortable. Go a little bit faster or just try and slow it down for the longer stretch. Take 2 deep breaths. And come back to center. Bring your feet out. And then use your hands to push you up. And now roll over into a tabletop position. Bringing the palms of your hands, rooting them under your shoulders, opening your hands for a wide stance. Putting your knees right below your waist, giving you a nice little base. And we're going to flow through a little cat and cow as a cool down. So we're going to use our belly button and try and push it towards the ground without moving your waist and or shoulders. And we're going to now act that there was a string on our back. Someone was pulling it up towards the ceiling. Now, back to normal. Now, if you would like, you can try and go a little bit further into the stretch, deepening, rooting your shoulders, keeping your shoulders straight, and now pushing your back up, rolling it at the ceiling. Back to normal. We're going to do this 2 more times, taking deep breaths as you go down and exhaling as you come up. One more. And from this, we're just going to have our toes start to touch, widen our knees. We're going to flow right back into child's pose. Keeping your shoulder blades together, pushing out as far as you can on that mat, deepening the stretch, and just hold it for 2 or 3 breaths. From this, we're going to come back into tabletop. We're actually going to finish up on our back with a little bit of Savasana. We're going to keep our shoulders planted on the ground, have our palms facing up, legs out. Just a few breaths, just realize what you've been working on, whether it be your balance or coordination. Take a few deep breaths, feel every body part going through your toes to the top of your head. Rise up. And that is the end of our sequence. Namaste.